The weeks of September 1st through 12th on the bold and the beautiful promise a wave of secrets, confrontations, and shifting loyalties that will jolt every corner of Los Angeles' most elite circles. As emotions flare and relationships are pushed to their limits, viewers will witness life-altering decisions, unexpected alliances, and a pregnancy test that could ignite a new Spencer family war. The drama kicks off as Luna Nozoa quietly sneaks away from the prying eyes of her Aunt Lee Finnegan to take a pregnancy test. Luna, hopeful and secretly thrilled, believes that carrying Will Spencer's child could be her ultimate path to securing his heart forever. She wants a future with Will, a powerful, well-connected Spencer, and she's betting everything onto pink lines appearing. As she nervously waits for the results, tension builds. Luna is convinced this child could be her way into the dynasty and the life she's always dreamed of. She doesn't want any especially Leto interfere with her plans. Lee, who's always had strong opinions about Luna's choices, would shut this down in a heartbeat if she found out. But Luna is no longer playing it safe. She's making moves on her own terms. At the same time, Thomas Forrester returns to LA. After a long absence, immediately drawing attention. He comes home to a happy reunion with his mother, Taylor Hayes, who is overjoyed to have her son back in town. But Thomas isn't just home for a visit, comes with questions and concerns. Most notably, what's happening with Taylor's engagement to Rich Forrester? Thomas senses hesitation, delays, and a familiar obstacle re-emerging. Brooke Logan? Ridge's history with Brooke has always cast a shadow over his relationships, and Thomas isn't interested in seeing his mother get hurt again. He wastes no time pressing Taylor for details about the wedding timeline, and while Taylor assures him that Ridge is committed, she quietly admits that Eric Forrester has been pushing for Brooke and Ridge to reconcile. Still, Taylor holds fast to her belief that Ridge will honor his promise. She wants Thomas to stand by her side at the wedding, and she plans to invite Steffi Forrester as well, hoping to reunite her family for the big day. But Thomas doesn't trust Brooke, and he doesn't plan to stay silent. One afternoon at Forrester Creations, Thomas confronts Brooke in the design office. His words are sharp and direct: "Stay away from Ridge." Brooke, unshaken and characteristically confident, rushes off his warning. She reminds him that history speaks for itself. Ridge always comes back to her. Nearby, Katie Logan overhears the exchange and steps in to defend her sister. She urges Thomas to back off, suggesting that his aggressive stance isn't helping anyone. But Thomas is unmoved. He's tired of seeing Brooke interfere in his family's happiness. Meanwhile, Hope Logan finds herself caught between the two men fighting for her heart. Carter Walton, the ever-loyal and patient lover, wants a future with her. He believes in their relationship and isn't afraid to say so. When Liam Spencer confronts him during the week of September 1st to 5th, demanding that he back away from Hope, Carter stands his ground. He defends his love, making it clear he's not just a placeholder or rebound. He wants a forever with Hope. But Liam isn't backing down either. Fueled by his desire to rebuild the family he lost, Liam tells anyone who'll listen up, Carter, even Ivy, that he still loves Hope and wants her back. He brings up Beth, their daughter, and paints a picture of the future they could have if they reunite. He doesn't deny the guilt he feels over trying to win Hope back when she's with another man, but that doesn't stop him. Liam believes that he and Hope are destined, and he won't let the opportunity slip through his fingers. Ivy Forrester, who's been watching quietly from the sidelines, finally steps in and voices what others have been thinking. She tells Hope point-blank that the passion she shares with Carter doesn't come close to what she had with Liam. Ivy isn't trying to stir the pot, she's trying to help Hope see clearly. She reminds her that second chances don't come often, and if she truly loves Liam, she needs to fight for it. Ivy's words hit Hope hard. She begins to question her own choices, wondering if her heart has been leading her in the wrong direction all along. During the second week, from September 8th to 12th, the emotional turmoil continues. Brooke becomes increasingly frustrated as Ridge remains vague about their future. She vents to Katie and a high-profile client named Rana, who shows up at Forrester Creations looking for a design and gossip. Rana wants to hear all about the legendary Forrester love triangles, and Brooke, unable to hold back, shares bits and pieces of her tangled history with Ridge. Brooke still believes they belong together and openly questions why Ridge hasn't already walked away from Taylor. Back at the Spencer mansion, Luna's world teeters on the edge as she finally looks at the results of the pregnancy test. The answer will either make her dream come true or shatter it completely. The result remains unspoken in the moment, but her reaction says it all. Wide eyes, a gasp, a trembling hand. Whether it's joy or devastation remains a secret, but what's clear is this Luna now has a plan, and nothing will stop her from making Will Spencer hers. Elsewhere in town, Thomas crosses paths with Hope again. It's not a staged meeting, but when they lock eyes in the Forrester corridor, the air shifts. He sees the sadness in her expression, the doubt in her posture. Something is weighing on her. Thomas gently asks how she's doing, and she opens up, admitting that everything feels wrong. She's torn between what's expected of her and what she truly wants. Thomas listens, doesn't judge, and offers the only thing he can, his honesty. He tells her that whatever decision she makes, it should be hers and hers alone. He doesn't mention Carter or Liam. He just reminds her of her strength. That moment stays with Hope. Later that night, Hope stares at a photo of her and Liam with Beth. She thinks of all they went through losing Beth, finding her again, the betrayals, the forgiveness, the pain. And then she thinks of Carter, how safe he is, how easy things feel, but also how quiet her heart has been lately. By the end of the week, a storm is brewing. Luna's pregnancy confirmed will send shockwaves through the Spencer family. Thomas's warning to Brooke escalates tensions within Forrester Creations. Ridge is forced to choose between two women: Taylor, the loyal partner standing by his side, or Brooke, the woman whose love has haunted him for decades. And Hope, caught in her own emotional crossfire, must decide whether to return to Liam, stay with Carter, or forge a completely new path. But perhaps the biggest question remains unanswered. What if Thomas isn't done shaking things up? What if his return to LA wasn't just about family or support or love, but a deeper motive? What if he knows something about Luna, about her baby, her connection to the Spencers, and is waiting for the right moment to expose another secret? Because in the bold and the beautiful, secrets never stay buried, love is never simple, and no one ever walks away clean. Thomas Forrester's return to Los Angeles was anything but subtle. He didn't come back quietly or with a smile. He didn't ask for a family dinner or a casual reunion. He walked straight into Forrester Creations, head high, fire in his eyes, and demanded to see Brooke Logan. He found her in the executive office, seated comfortably in Ridge's old chair, flipping through a collection of designs as if she still owned the place, or still owned Ridge's heart. She looked up, half expecting another assistant or maybe Katie, but the moment she saw Thomas standing in the doorway, the air changed. Cold, charged, dangerous. "I need a word," he said sharply. Brooke stood, brushing off her blouse, trying to maintain control. "Thomas, back from your self-imposed exile. How thoughtful of you to visit." "This isn't a visit," he snapped. "This is a warning. Stay away from my mother. Stay away from Ridge." Brooke's smile thinned into a smirk. "You think you can walk back in here and order me around? You have no idea what's going on between Ridge and me. Or Taylor." "I know enough," Thomas replied. "I know you've been circling him like a vulture ever since I left. I know you're trying to rekindle what's already dead. And I know my father is engaged to Taylor." Brooke crossed her arms. "And yet, he still hasn't set a date. Still hasn't made it official. Maybe he's waiting for something or someone." Thomas stepped forward, his voice low and deadly. "Don't twist this. You had your chance, and you blew it. You've had decades with Ridge. And every time, it ends the same way. Chose betrayal, heartache. He's trying to move forward with someone who doesn't bring out the worst in him. And you think Taylor's that someone," Brooke retorted. "Your mother's been second best her entire life. I'm the one Ridge always comes back to." Thomas's hands curled into fists. That's exactly what I'm trying to stop. He doesn't need to go back. He needs to go forward. With my mother. You've manipulated him for long enough. It ends now. Brooke's expression hardened. You don't get to decide Ridge's future. I do when it affects my family. You're toxic to him. And I won't stand by while you poison him again. The standoff escalated. The temperature in the room dropped. Neither was backing down. But Thomas didn't wait for more words. He turned and left, making it clear that this wasn't just a conversation, it was a declaration of war. Word spread quickly across Forrester Creations. Ridge was furious when he heard about the confrontation. He called both Thomas and Brooke into a meeting, demanding answers. I won't have fighting in my company, Ridge barked. This is a business, not a battleground. Thomas didn't flinch. Then maybe you should stop letting Brooke use it as her personal playground. Excuse me, Brooke snapped. You came in here threatening me. I told you to stay away from my family, Thomas said evenly. You want to pretend like you're still part of this dynasty, but you're not. You lost that right when you chose Deacon. When you destroyed your marriage, Rich tried to interject, but Thomas wasn't finished. You made your choices, Brooke. Now live with them. Don't try to rewrite history. Don't use this company or my father to fix your mistakes. Brooke turned to Ridge. And you're okay with this? Your son threatening me. I don't condone threats, Ridge said, clearly uncomfortable. But he's right about one thing. You and I are done, Brooke. Brooke's eyes narrowed. For now. Thomas clenched his jaw. No. Forever. The atmosphere at Forrester changed after that. Tensions ran high. People began to pick sides. Eric Forrester, ever the patriarch, tried to stay neutral but couldn't ignore the fact that his own son was teetering on the edge of another Logan entanglement. Eric had always had a soft spot for Brooke, but he saw what it was doing to the family. Meanwhile, Taylor Hayes was stunned when she heard about Thomas's bold stance. At first, she was worried, afraid he'd overstepped, created more drama, but as Thomas explained, her expression changed from concern to pride. I just want you to have peace, Mom, he told her. You deserve that. After everything Brooke's done to this family. You deserve better, Taylor embraced him, eyes moist with gratitude. I appreciate it, Thomas. But I also need you to trust Ridge. Let him handle this. I do, Thomas said. But I don't trust Brooke. And neither should you. In the days that followed, Katie, Logan, and Hope both approached Thomas to question his approach. Katie, fierce and loyal to her sister, told him bluntly, you're crossing a line. Brooke has every right to talk to Ridge. She's not going to slink away just because you say so. Thomas's response was cold. She had every right. Past tense. Now she's just clinging to a version of Ridge that doesn't exist anymore. Hope tried to keep things civil, but she couldn't ignore how aggressive Thomas was becoming. Their past made everything more complicated. She wanted to believe he'd changed, that he'd left behind the manipulation and obsession, but seeing him go after her mother like that reopened old wounds. Thomas, I get that you want to protect Taylor, Hope said gently. But this isn't your fight. Thomas looked at her, eyes dark. It is when my family's future is at stake. Across town, Brooke wasn't letting Thomas's warning slow her down. She was strategizing, working quietly behind the scenes. She started dropping by Ridge's office more often, planting small reminders of their shared historic photos, stories, old jokes. She reached out to Rana, a major client with a soft spot for Brooke, and used her influence to put pressure on the company to honor its legacy. That legacy, of course, included the Brookridge love story. Brooke was playing the long game. She believed Ridge's hesitation to marry Taylor meant something. That deep down, he still hadn't let go of her. She wasn't going to loosen it to Taylor. Not to Thomas. As the days passed, Ridge found himself torn once again. Taylor had been nothing but loyal, supportive, loving. But Brooke's presence still stirred something inside him. And the longer he waited to set a date with Taylor, the more obvious it became to everyone that he wasn't as committed as he claimed to be. Steffi, hearing about the tension, returned from Europe briefly to confront her father. She demanded to know why the wedding hadn't happened yet, why he was hesitating. Ridge had no good answer. All he could say was, "I need more time." Taylor was heartbroken when she heard this. Not because Ridge didn't love her, but because she realized what was happening all over again. History was repeating. Brooke was back in his head, back in his heart, and Thomas was watching it all unfold. He confronted Ridge one night, alone in his office. "You're doing it again," Thomas said. Ridge looked up. "Doing what?" "Letting Brooke win. Letting her get inside your head. You said you were done." "You said Taylor was the one." "She is," Ridge replied quietly. "Then marry her," Thomas said flatly. "Or walk away. But don't drag her through another heartbreak." That same night, Thomas received a call that changed everything. It was from an unknown number, but the voice on the other end was unmistakable. "Thomas," the voice whispered, "we need to talk. There's something you don't know." "Who is this?" "It's about Brooke. And your sister." "And the night Carolyn died." The line went dead. Thomas stood in silence, staring at the phone in his hand, the blood draining from his face. There was more. Much more. And whatever it was, it had the power to destroy everything. He wasn't just fighting for Ridge and Taylor anymore. He was fighting to expose a secret that someone had buried long ago. And he wasn't going to stop until the truth came out, no matter who it destroyed.